Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Mantalk.ke. It's a very, very special one. It's a special one because we don't normally post on a Sunday, but it's Father's Day and we have an amazing conversation for you coming up. So before we start, thank you so much Kofisi for being sponsors of this season. We're back in Kofisi in Eden Square in Westlands. I didn't know there was one here, so I was pleasantly surprised. So if you want a nice co-working space, the link will be down below. Come to Kofisi, network, and have an amazing workspace. So now that's done, let's jump into why this is a very, very special episode. Oscar, would you like to do introductions? Do you want to do that?
Please, yes, as it is my immense pleasure
There we go.
to introduce to you, members of the audience, members of the public, the two men on my right. First of all, we have Mr. Shiv Simani, himself fitness instructor, Rastaman, cool guy. As you can see, a sneaker head just like me.
Yeah.
Really cool to have you around.
Yeah, thanks.
And then we have the great Mr. Mike Wachira for second time, who spoke on fatherhood last time, and his insights were super, super instructive. Media personality, works in human rights. I mean, his CV is as long as this episode might be. But shout out to both of these gentlemen for joining us, guys. So welcome to Mantalk, guys.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, man, it's absolutely important. Today we want to talk about fatherhood, and I think it's important to just jump right in, because today's Father's Day, and we are fathers to be, me and Eli. But there's a young dad on my right.
Yeah.
Then there's a senior father.
Wow, he said the S word.
Yeah, he's a
He said
senior
the S
father.
word.
Senior father on my right as
Yeah.
well. So I just want us to jump into that topic. And the first question I have to ask is, Shiv,
Yeah.
what does fatherhood mean to you? What does the word fatherhood mean to you?
First of all, I'm really glad to be here. It's been a long time coming, very long time coming.
Yeah.
So that said, what does fatherhood mean to me? That's a tough question because it's my identity right now. It's who I am. I'm a father, and every time I'm introducing myself, it's like almost like I'm a father is like one of the first things I say, even before like what I do. You know, it just becomes part and parcel of your identity. Maybe some people don't resonate with it and they are fathers biologically. But for me, it's now fatherhood is my responsibility. It's me to nurture and bring up and protect and take care of my children, my daughters, show them the right way in terms of just values, in terms of what they'd like to do, inspire them to do what they'd like to do, inspire them by showing them how passionate I am about what I do so that they can pick up that energy and are also just motivated and inspired to do what they want to do too. So it's a lot of learning and a lot of teaching and a lot of passing down what I know and what I'm learning and unlearning to them and giving them the best chance at life. That's what fatherhood is for me.
Jeez.
Wow, powerful.
Yeah. Beautiful. Mike?
Yeah.
Mike?
Yourself?
Wow. Okay. Yeah. That's amazing. That's amazing, man. And of course, I watched Shiv's journey with his daughters and his family, and amazing guy. Like, especially raising daughters. That's fantastic. So for me, fatherhood is one understanding that you are privileged to have a responsibility to take care and bring up another human being. That is such a heavy thing to have on your shoulders. That this young life that you have here could either be the best they can be or will end up being a traumatized individual because of you. That is such a heavy burden to carry. And understanding that you have the privilege to be able to walk that journey with this young person until they get to the best version of themselves is a blessing. So for me, fatherhood is one, showing up every single day. Even when you don't want to show up, you have to show up.
Yeah.
It is your obligation. It is your responsibility. You brought life into this earth. So you are responsible for that life. And then with responsibility, of course, comes opportunity for you to be able to work with this young life, to mentor, to coach, to teach, to lead, to inspire. And all that is on you to be able to first look within yourself and say, what am I doing that is limiting me from performing these roles? And understanding yourself. So self-awareness is really important. So as a father, you must be very self-aware. Understand where your traumas are, understand where your challenges are, where your biases are, where the things that you struggle with are, so that then you do not repeat the cycle of trauma. But now you are somebody who is a champion in this young person's life, and you're encouraging them to be the best version of themselves.
It sounds like a very tall order right now, but it sounds like an incredible one.
Yes.
Beautiful answers, beautiful answers.
Eli, just before you start to ask the questions, I want to ask you a question
Oh, for goodness
from
sake.
across the room.
I'm not a father. as far as I
Please,
know.
no. What does the word fatherhood mean to you as Eli?
Trust fund. No, I'm joking. No, fatherhood for me, I can only look at what I've experienced from a father. And for me, it's just been a case of stability. Like that's, if there was one word to like encapsulate what my dad has been in my life, it would be stability. And that's what I strive for right now to create, so that when they do come, there's that element of stability that they can now come into and live within. So that for me is what I've seen and what I want to achieve. Like stability would be the number one thing for me.
Great.
Yeah. How about you, Oscar, since we're doing this?
Fantastic.
There we go.
So for me, my father's key role, and I know he's going to watch this on Father's Day, in my life is he's given me such a strong sense of identity of who I am. The fact that I come from a particular group of people.
Yeah.
The fact that there's a certain ethos to the way you live your life. On his desk, he has such an interesting thing. He says, integrity is the best reputation. Like
amazing.
to be a man of integrity is fundamental, and that thing, and that he has that on his desk. And I've been seeing this since I was probably a child, and just that passing of those values to me is something that my dad has given me. And also the harder virtues, there are certain virtues that we as men must have that are harder. For example, we must learn to not be taken advantage of in certain social situations, and to have the bravery to say no. To have the courage to step into our lives and attack every day. Those are virtues that I call harder virtues, like perseverance, temperance, mercifulness in situations where there's been injustice. I think that's the role that my dad has given me. A sense of identity and a very, very strong sense of virtues.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Now that we've sort of defined what fatherhood is, firstly, happy Father's Day to everybody watching. It was a very cute first 5 minutes of this episode, but I'm here for violence, guys. I'm angry. And I'll tell you why. I'm here for violence because I know that I'm a victim of it. Not a victim, but I do this as well. I feel like when Mother's Day happens, you just do everything in your power to make that a special day.
Yeah.
I forget Father's Day for my own dad, like regularly. And I don't know how we got here, but I feel like Father's Day isn't given the gravity or the attention that it deserves. So I want to know from fathers, I know you've got very young children at the moment, but do you think as a child of a father and as a father now that men get the correct amount of attention on Father's Day? Do you think that's the case at the moment?
I don't think men get the props that they deserve, period.
Right.
Because no, it's true, because if you look at how we live in society, men have the expectations that are placed on them, and your ability to deliver on those expectations is what is then cause for celebration.
Right.
So that is what then now creates the pressure that men feel, that they have to continuously, live up to a certain standard and certain expectations. That's what brings in all these problems that we have with mental health, because there's already a script that has been laid out for you about what it means to be a man, what it means to be a father, protector, provider, leader, decision maker, and if by any chance you're not able to fulfill one or two of those things, then there is no cause for celebrating anything. It's now just pointing fingers and saying, you have failed as a man, you have failed as a father, you can't live up to these expectations. So I think generally, and men have learned not to expect to be celebrated.
That's true.
My dad even says, it's fine. No, it's fine. But I don't think it is. Like, I don't think he actually thinks that.
Exactly.
Right?
So we've learned not to accept or expect to be celebrated. So you just crack on and carry on, and maybe one day further down the line, somebody will bring you a cake and say something, and I really appreciate. So I think that's a narrative that needs to be able. We should be able to rephrase and change, and create a paradigm shift, so that then we celebrate everybody who is doing what they need to be doing.
Yeah. Very true.
But on that also, I've just thought about it, and I think it's also a bit of a cultural thing. I don't know if it's African culture, but my dad, happy Father's Day first, would not know when Father's Day is to save his life. it's just not something he was brought up knowing or taught about, or it was like an issue. And also Mother's Day, it wasn't like a thing for him. And you see, it's like especially if you're from a very conservative background where it's very traditional and conservative in terms of even a man carrying flowers or man carrying, it's like, what's this guy doing kind of thing, you know. From my community, you know, the men are very, this is how it is, and you know, kind of thing. So I don't think he would even expect Father's Day, anything on Father's Day. But over the years, we've been making it known that, you know, the Father's Day is a day for him to be celebrated and stuff like that. So he now appreciates it. So I think it's a mix of just from not knowing about this and what it's about to knowing and actually liking and appreciating it. And I guess that's just the way we should go moving forward. That's just a comment.
I got you. Because like it's really important for us as men to remove the cultural bias around, you know, like clapping for women as moms, and it is important to do that. But it's also important for us as a community to recognize men as playing a vital role as caregivers. And this now moves on to the next question that I have, which is because Eli and I are fathers to be. I think it's for our benefit. We'd want to understand what role do men play as caregivers. Then I'd want to understand from the beginning, from the moment you found out you're going to be a dad, what roles did you play to prepare for that role? And then we can step into what have you been doing till then as a dad, as a caregiver, because I think it's so important that society starts to view fathers as being an integral part of the family construct. Yeah. So Shiv, young dad.
I start. Okay. All right. Well, right from when I found out, I talk about found out from my firstborn. So
sorry, Shiv. How many? If you
so
don't
yeah, I'm a father
tell
of
us.
two. I'm a father of two girls, Shazi and Shiloh. Hi. Two beautiful girls. One turns 7 in a month, and the other turns 2 in November. So yeah.
Wow, incredible.
Yeah.
So let's start.
So
firstborn.
Yeah, firstborn. It was scary. I mean, I remember the day my wife Shiko told me about the pregnancy. It was scary. I couldn't sleep. I remember walking that night around the estate. I was still living with my folks then. So I remember walking around the estate, looking at the stars. And I kid you not, I was about to say shit, I kid you not, but I saw a shooting star that night. And it meant so much to me. I hadn't seen a shooting star in like months. And that night I saw a shooting star. So for me, that I took it as a sign that everything will be fine. Everything will go well. Just trust your instincts, trust what you feel and how to go about things, and just keep moving forward. So from that point on, it was, okay, what do I need to do? We have it was like 6 months to go. What can I do in 6 months to prepare as much as I can for my family? So it was like, okay, list. All right, I'll need to move out. For me, I was just like, okay, I need to move out. Am I happy at my job? I wasn't happy at my job. I was actually in employment. It was the only year I was in employment, and I left. So I was like, okay, I need to leave my job, but how will I leave and what will I do? Where will I stay? How will I earn money? And how will I save for what has to come? So that was for me, the just immediate things that need to be laid out and the plan that was set. And from there, it was go, no looking back. It was basically, okay, I need to get a house. I need to figure out how to move out. I need to figure out how to leave my job and start a business. I need to figure out, and that was that. Just no looking back from there and just grinding through it. Fast forward to now, it's still the same, Now, maybe the house is bigger. It's from, a one small bedroom where the three of us are all huddled to what we have now. And, I appreciate, and looking back at it, I'm extremely grateful for how things have turned out. It's not that things are easy, but you get to figure out how things can move. And if you just keep a vision also with your partner, if you're lucky enough to still be with your partner, it tends to be easier if you guys are on the same page and you have a vision of the things you both want for yourselves as individuals, as a couple, and for the children. Always talking about it, always communicating, and being on the same page, not letting things slide or go under the carpet and just ignoring them, but constantly talking about what you want for the family, which always changes. It could change some days, but some things stay the same. Good education, good house, good friends, good values.
It's a very that's a very powerful statement. I just want to know before I hand over the questions to my co-host over there. How do you balance that? How do you balance the need to provide and to pass family values in the house and to keep the home together while also maintaining your relationship with your spouse? How do you handle that balance?
That's a tough balance. It's a tough one. But initially, I think, we've been together for a long time. This is 12 years now. So we've gotten to really learn each other. Although we're continuously changing, we're continuously learning each other. But I think you just have to kind of set things and communicate things as they are. Like, I like this. This is my time. I need to go to the gym. I need to do this. I like watching at this time. I don't like it when music is played at this time. I don't like this. I don't like this food and that. And she says the same thing, and she says what she likes, and I say what I like. Then it's like, okay, so how do we not step on each other's feet knowingly when you know this is what will set this other person off? So we already know this is what will set this person off. This is what will set me off. This is what this person likes. This is what I like. So now we just have to navigate around that, because you're an individual, and you also have to have your time. You have to fill your cup before you set out to the rest. You have to love yourself extremely. You have to be self-aware, as Mike said, before you start to now try and project onto the kids or to your wife. So it's always important for you, and for me, I'd say to, first of all, whether it's first thing in the morning, kiss your wife, but meditate, do what you need to do to set your mind straight before coming out, in the worst mood, and you're just like, oh my God, you're in the worst mood, and the kids are happy, everyone else in the house is happy, but now you're making everyone else sad and just mad and just gloomy. So it's very important to continuously check yourself, check your mood. And if anyway, you just can't, because some days you just can't. I'd tell my wife, I'd be like, Shiko, me, I can't handle this. I can't be with the kids right now. So please just, support me here. And right these days, we know when someone else is in a bad space. As soon as someone walks in the house, you just know you're not letting the kids be around them, kind of thing. They need their 1 or 2 hours by themselves. And then after that, when they feel like they can come back and be with us, then that's how it is, as opposed to forcing that on them. If you know your cup is even like a millimeter higher, it's your responsibility, I think, to be the one to step up so that this other person can fill up a bit and come back and help the situation. I think that's very important.
To soothe irritated and dry skin, Vaseline's healing power is able to penetrate beneath the surface of the skin. This is because Vaseline is made with unique blends of waxes and oils that melt into the spaces between skin cells. This promotes natural moisture regulation to deliver effective skin protection against dryness. Use Vaseline because it is the first step to maintaining natural, healthy-looking skin.
Incredible. I have to commend you, Shiv, because what you've said, I know is true. Because when we had your wife and her best friend Ivy on, we went for lunch afterwards and we were just talking about fatherhood. And the one thing they said was about how collaborative you and Shiki are. So hearing you say that is the exact same thing that Ivy said she's seen firsthand. So I commend you for that, definitely. So guys, collaboration. I think that's the key. There's something you said earlier that I want to pass to Mike as a question. And it was how when you first realized you're a father, you had to kind of evolve into this guy that had a new house, that had left his job, etc. And I think sometimes when you evolve quickly, it's a scary thing. You weren't prepared to evolve. So I want to find out from Mike, from the day you found out, like Shiv's mentioned, how have you evolved as Mike? Because sometimes you get lost in a role. Like, I'm a father, I'm this, but how have you evolved as an individual, as a person, as Mike, to become that better father? What's that done for you?
So I think for me, when I found out, of course, I was over the moon. I was happy. I was very happy.
Yeah.
I have a boy. The immediate thing that I remember feeling was that I wish my dad was here to see him.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so right then, because my dad passed away when I was 14. So I was very young, very formative years of my life.
Yeah.
And I remember going, you know, like how you go to you go to your parents' place and they've got the photo albums, right? And you look through the photo albums, and I mean, I could see pictures of me and my dad, but there were not many.
Right.
You know, that was an era where there was no, it wasn't a technology era, so there wasn't like any video recordings or anything.
Yeah.
And I sat there and I asked myself, I wish I could see a video of me and my dad kicking a football when I was 4.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And I tried to look through the albums and I couldn't find anything like that. You know.
Yeah.
So right there, then I made up my mind that I am going to document every important milestone in my son's life, so that he has a point of reference when he's older.
Yeah.
When he said his first word, dad was there.
Yeah.
When I kicked my first ball, dad was there. When I learned how to swim, dad was there. When you know, all these things, so all these important milestones, dad was there.
Yeah.
So then he wouldn't have to go through this kind of struggle I went through to try and reconnect with those kind of memories.
Yeah.
Because there's all that there. And then, of course, also understanding the kind of person that I want my son to become. You know, and in this day and age that we live in, what kind of person he needs to be to thrive.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and understanding that, okay, if I teach my child to be self-aware, to be respectful, to have a good relationship with himself and with God and with others around him, and then to also understand what naturally comes to him is a gift, and how he can use that gift to create a difference in the lives of others, then he'll have a sense of purpose. And that's more important than just having a job. You know, so that will fulfill him. A sense of purpose will be able to show him where his place is in this world. He will not be lost. He'll be confident. He'll be articulate. He'll know exactly what it is he needs to do to be the best version of himself. If my son can come out that way, then I've done my work.
Done.
Yeah.
That's powerful. Shiv, there's a comparison because Mike is talking about raising a son. Now I want to draw the parallel between raising daughters. What values, what function do you think you serve as a father when it comes to raising daughters, and how do you think that's differentiated from, you know, perhaps raising a son, since you've seen your dad raise you?
Yeah.
Honestly,
I think most of the things are the same, whether you're raising a boy or a girl. However, wow, where do we go with this? Where do we go with this? Yeah. In this day and age, I'm very open. We're very open about how we raise them and what we expose our children to. You know, they're aware of, you know, you can be with a man can be with a man, a lady can be the lady. You can do whatever, and we've made it very aware and very okay for them. So they're aware of all this at a very young age. So it's like, yes, people will want to do and will like different people and everything, but it's, what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say, we just make sure they have the proper values. That's your integrity, your honesty, your love for other people. They're happy and they look for something that they love to do, and they have purpose, as Micah said. But in terms of specific values, it's just respect of oneself and respect of others, love of oneself and love of others. I think that those kind of things resonate across the board, whether you're with, you have a daughter or you have a son. But also you kind of have to be realistic about your current situation and culture and environment, and just make them a bit more aware of, you know, what's going on in terms of it may not be safe to do this and this. Just because of the environment you live in, you also have to educate them on the, you know, the do's and don'ts, the where's, the hows of of moving around and interacting with the environment.
Dope. How do
Yeah.
you discipline
Yeah.
daughters? That's the other question.
How
I
do you
have.
discipline daughters?
Yeah,
as a
especially as a
father?
dad. Like, how do you discipline
Yeah.
daughters? Like, we had an episode with Mike where he previously said him and his son have very candid conversations about life,
Yeah.
about what is right, what is wrong, about like you've just mentioned, sexual relationships. But how do you discipline your daughters? How do you get them to understand the boundaries within the world they live in a way that's positive as a man?
I try. Well, first your patience is tested a lot, and patience has really been tested. So you learn to be as calm as possible before projecting or before lashing out and so on. So it depends now. Is it like, so you really dissect a situation and triage a situation like, okay, this is what's happening right now. Is it important for me to intervene, and how harshly do I need to intervene? Do I need to intervene harshly, or do I come in soft-spoken? How do I do this? Sometimes, it's a spur of the moment, and it's just like a tiny tap on the hand, and they get it. Like, okay, I've been ignoring you for the past 5 minutes. I've been telling you to stop, slapping Mamba in the face, kind of thing. So also I'll slap you back. Does it feel good? So you, even if it's a tiny spunk like that, you still talk about it immediately. And this is why I did it. How did you feel about that? So would you do that? Is that how you would like this other person to feel? So it's a lot of conversation.
So for that context, Mamba is the dog.
Yeah, Mamba is my dog. Yeah, my second daughter, my Shiloh. Oh man, she goes in on him sometimes. That may be because she sees me. I kind of have to be very stern with him, so she's also very stern with him. And sometimes she just goes overboard and just chappers him, kind of thing. He's a Rottweiler, a 2-year-old Rottweiler. She's a 1.5-year-old child, but he literally looks for her and is like, okay, if she's he listens, basically. He respects her. So just small things like that. We just try to have conversations as much as possible. And if that doesn't work, maybe for the older child, it's time out. You're gone overboard, because you can be very calm and having this conversation with her, like, Shazi, this is why we're doing this. Please don't shout. And she's going off. She's like, no, I don't like you. Just shouting at you. So Shiko and I are just sitting, looking at each other. We're like, Shazi, calm down. Let's talk. And, at that point, they're already at 100. And so it's like, okay, look, go to your room or go outside, or like outside to the compound, not like outside to your friends. Like, go outside to be alone. Be in your thoughts, think about it. And when you're ready, when you've calmed down and let's talk about it, kind of thing. And I find that kind of works, because now you're forcing this person to be alone in their feelings and have to think about what they've done at the height of their anger, when they really want to fight. It's like, no, we're not fighting about this, because at this point, you're not going to listen to me. You're not going to listen to us. So calm down, and when we can have a conversation, then let's have it.
So believe it or not, we actually have to end in 2 minutes time. So the final question would be, I want this to go on for longer, but guys, we literally can't. My final question, Mike, is what do you struggle with as a father? And then a message for fathers that are going to watch this, or future fathers.
I think the one thing I struggle with is wondering if I'm doing enough.
Wow.
That's the one thing. And and why I struggle with that again is because of my history. My dad having passed away very, very early. So like now, my dad passed away when he was 49.
Wow.
So I am a few years to 49. So that's constantly weighing on my mind. Like, wow. And then now is when I'm seeing how young he was when he passed on.
49 is young.
That time I was a kid. But now is when I'm seeing how, wow, this guy was, and then, he had accomplished so much, he had done so many things. And so all those things, sort of sit on me, and I'm like, wow, I haven't even done like half of what he had done by this age.
Wow.
And so then I asked myself, if I was to check out today, have I done enough so that my son would have he will not struggle. It's a good life. He'll continue. My family will be okay. So that's one thing I constantly struggle with. Like really, like gives me sleepless nights. It absolutely does. I think for Father's Day, all I can say is that one is understand the kind of parent that you want to be. And the way you are parented doesn't mean that's the same way you have to parent your child. Yeah. You can actually make a conscious decision about the kind of father that you want to be. Having a relationship with your children is extremely important, and not one of authority, but a relationship where there is mutual respect and understanding and dialogue and conversation, and you understand each other, you reach down to their level and they reach to your level. And this will enable you to create the kind of environment where your children can always come to you when they have an issue, when they have a question, when they have something that they want to do, and they will not hide things from you because they know Dad will always be there to listen. Dad will always be there to give me a friendly ear, will not judge me, and will support me through these struggles that I'm going in. Understand yourself as well. Be self-aware. Take time, call yourself to a meeting, ask yourself why you do the things you do, why you react the way you react, why you talk the way you talk, the behaviors that you might have picked up from elsewhere, and you're unconsciously just carrying on with them. Call yourself to a meeting, understand yourself, be self-aware, and then know how it is that you want to parent and mentor and bring up your children.
Wow.
Mr. Shiv, Simani,
message to the fathers.
our young dad.
Yes.
Please, that is your camera.
Tell them.
Which one? That one.
That one.
All right. Message to dads is, again, be there for your children as much as possible. It's not just about, sending money to an account and that's all. Yes, that's one part of it. But for me, who is about time. I want to spend as much time as I can with my family. I know obviously that's not always possible because of different situations, whether it's work and other situations. However, you are able and it's in your power to make time, even if it's a little, for the people you love. If you love them, which I assume this is your child, then you should make time for them. You should be there for them. They should know that they can look to you and come to you again whenever they need. Obviously, fill your cup first. Have a meeting with yourself. I'm just saying what Mike said because it's the truth. It is what it is.
Wow.
Also, have a relationship with your partner. Be on the same page with your partner about how you're trying to raise your child. It's very important so that there's no clash of values and ideals and vision. You guys are on the same page, and that really helps with your parenting. So we don't like to have a bad parent, good parent kind of thing, bad cop, good cop kind of thing. It's more, we're on the same page all the time. If someone has decided that what someone has done, what Shiloh or Shazi has done is wrong, and I don't think so, I cannot project and say and show them that I don't agree, with my partner. Wow. We're on the same page. Even if I know I'm like, let her, she goes, sometimes it would be like, yo, stop climbing the tree, stop. And for me, I'm like, let her do it so she can fall and then she'll learn kind of thing. Yeah. But it's like not around them. They need to see a united front. So have a strong coalition with your partner, and that really helps. So the kids know, okay, this is a solid coalition and we're kind of, we need to follow suit. Yeah, and also they see your relationship and then learn how relationships should be and can be from you guys. So be their best examples.
Yeah, beautiful.
Thank you.
We're sorry, guys, it was a short episode, but I feel like there was so much value. I can only say thank you to you guys. First time I ever saw you, Mike, before we even knew each other, was in News Cafe. And we never knew each other, but you were over there with your son. I was like, they're having so much fun. Yeah. And then the woman in your life joined as well. And I was like, that's a really nice example. I just landed here. And Shiv, all I've ever heard is incredible things. So for you to come on here and share such advice from a place of being fantastic fathers, everyone has flaws, but you're doing a great, amazing job. So thank you for letting us learn. And thank you for letting everyone else here learn as well. Yeah. So that was fatherhood. Happy Father's Day to everyone. And we'll see you next week on Thursday for an episode of Mantalk.ke.
Goodbye.
Au revoir.
Cheers. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.